say $40,000 for the year. You know how much of that I'm gonna bring home? Just guess, out of 40,000, what you would bring home?
About 30.
About 30. About 30. So is that fair?
No.
You told me I make 40, but you want me to bring 30. So to create, so you want that doesn't happen? What you gonna do? Yes, ma'am.
So this section looks like it says if your total income will be 200,000, okay, or less, okay, got it. Okay, or less.
So what you're gonna do is you always gonna, we're gonna say lie to the IRS because they lie to us. You're going to say, if I have 2 people, I'm gonna say I have 3. All right? So if between that, if you go back to the other page, we're gonna flip back over. I can't see it that well. You see where it has married, filing jointly at the top, and then it has single. So let's go. How many people single? Okay, so we're gonna do the single first. Go down to, I don't know how much you make, so I'm just gonna estimate. Let's go down to the one that where it has that 40 to 59,000. See that one?
On the left.
It's on the left.
So you're in the middle,
Oh,
middle section?
This one.
Yeah, in the middle section? Oh,
Right here where it says single
yes, ma'am.
or married filing separately. Okay. So we're gonna be at the one that says 40,000, 59.99, right? Okay. So go all the way across to the very last number. Where it says $6,600, but it looks like it's under 110,
Yeah,
but it's for the one that's at the 59,000. I'm sorry, the $8,820.
Oh,
yeah.
That's the amount that they want out your check on that amount if you were single or married filing separately. So do we really want to give these people $8,820? Now that's just the federal side. On the state, they want 2.7. So you're gonna end up giving them about $11,000 out of that amount. We're not gonna do that.
And that's before, I mean, that's just during the year.
During the year, the complete amount during the year. So that's when I said you go back to that page, that page right there, this one. You're gonna change. They do it based off the exemption number.
I ain't see the readings. Well, at least break on the top.
I can't see out of those.
You just take a break and go get them.
Yeah.
No, here. You use these, and then I'll go.
So you want me to wear my shades?
Oh, I thought those was glasses. They look clear outside.
So Jesse,
I'm going.
we are. The grass off. The grass off. Yeah, they are. They are. He brought me the shades. Okay, y'all. We go transit. We gonna wear these shades until you get back. So remember this is what I said. This page, your W-4. You more than likely you're gonna have to either call HR or you can go to the dashboard yourself and pull out the W-4. So remember, if it's 2 people in the house, you're gonna say it's 3, and then you're gonna also do the 500 as well. Now, now here's the caveat to this. If you are a person that you like getting refunds, I don't like refunds, guys. And I'm gonna tell you why I don't like them. Because it means that you're basically playing in my face. You're giving me a percentage of what you're supposed to give me the entire year. So why wouldn't I take my money the entire year? So I'd rather give you $1, either one. Yeah. You see, I carry extra. Because I'm always,
That's why I moved the truck closer. So I figured something was gonna happen.
yeah, thank you. Y'all, you know anybody that drive around with about 4 pair of glasses? If I ever leave my real glasses. And this is funny because my son said, don't forget your glasses. And I forgot my glasses. God, I can see. Yes. Okay. So we're gonna go down, okay. Now I'm gonna tell you something about married filing separately. Never ever do that, ever. I have people that they'll come and they'll say, I wanna do married filing separately. And I always say, why are you doing that? And they'll say, well, because I wanna get the refund back. I said, okay. The IRS rule is this. If we have a house together, if we have children together and we do married filing separately, nobody's going to get the exemptions or the deductions. Because the IRS says one person can't get it. So basically what you're going to get is just the credit that's due to you and their kids, and they play this mind game. You think of putting the kids up there, you really get something? You're not. Because they can't divide it between both people. So it's always best to do married filing jointly.
What if you don't have children? Like, what if you don't have dependents? Is it okay to file married, filing separate?
I still wouldn't do it. I would do inter-spouse if I'm trying to do it to avoid paying taxes.
So so my spouse, he owes like a lot of tax.
Married filings, inter-spouse. So if you do inter-spouse, all right, that means that you're going to get all the credits and deductions. What he owes, it'll go straight to him. But it's still best to do injured spouse, because now both of you guys can still get all the deductions. Then the more money you're gonna get, then it can go towards the lessen his tax liability. So it's, if we made $90,000 and $10,000 of that is his debt, if I do injured spouse, it's gonna take it down to like $6,000. So now he's gonna owe lesser because I'm on his taxes. It's still like married filing jointly, but it's just injured spouse because they know that it's his tax liability.
So that's actually a selection?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
So what happens with married filing, the injured spouse? Some people would tell you have to mail in the documents. It just depends on the software that they're using. The software I use, I can submit it electronically, but most of the time, the IRS will say, no, we need you to mail it in, because it's a game that they play. Because most people don't know about injured spouse. They just would do separate. But we ain't trying to do separate. We want to get all our money, the deductions and credits. All right? So,
Thank you.
you're welcome. So, again, remember, you're going to do the highest exemption. You're going to change your W-4 when you go back to work. All right? Your I-9 for the state of Georgia, I always tell people don't play with the state of Georgia because they're like California, New York. They're going to get you. It's a game you can play, but when I tell people, a lot of times they forget how to play the game. So I'm going to still tell you what you can do with the state of Georgia. So if you want all your money from the state of Georgia, you can do exempt for 4 months out the year. All right? So if you 4 months out the year, but then you got to go back and change it to 1. Change it to 1. You did, yeah, for the remainder of the year. Because if you supposed to give Georgia, say, $6,000, Georgia gonna make you get them at $6,000. So you can be exempt for 4 months. So if you were expecting to get, say, an $800 refund, you're probably gonna only get $6. But I don't care about the $6. I got most of my money. But you gotta remember to go back and change it. Yeah. Same thing with the federal side. So say if, I tell people used to do 10 exemptions, and I was like, why are you doing that? It's like, oh, somebody told me to do that. I was like, but if you got audited, could you prove that you have 10 exemptions? You can. So I tell people to just exempt, just do exempt. So this is the caveat that I love. I will exempt for 5 months out of the year. Then I'll go back and I'll look at this document right here. That's tell my clients it is. Because you know it's on your check stub. So I find myself up here, right? Either category. And I'll look at the check stub and see how much I paid in taxes. So that tells me, so if it says on $50,000, I should be at $12,000. And if I only paid 7, I don't care. Because 7 means that I'm going to owe you a very little amount of money. If even if it's $800. Because some people are like, I don't want to owe. I'm like, you're not playing the right game. Why would you give somebody $8,000, $10,000 of your money as opposed to giving them 7? Does that make sense? I would give them 7. But that's just a number. So if you keep this page and you look at your check stub and you see where you are. So even once you pay, if you're going to pay this amount that they say, you can also have HR cut the taxes off. You can tell them, I don't want to pay more taxes for the year. And they'll go in. They may tell you, oh, we can't do it, but you can do it. You can just go to the dashboard and then it has it there. Flat tax, you just put 0. So they'll start taking the taxes out of your check. Now, you're always going to have to pay Medicare and Social Security. There's nothing we can do about that. It is, but I'm not going to tell you that's what it is. But, yes.
You said, go up there and change it. Where, you mean, where to change?
The dashboard,
Yeah, what
on
you
your
mean under Georgia's?
No. For your job. The
Oh,
company
the
you
job,
work for,
Yeah.
HR, you should have a dashboard, or they may be able to do it. Most of the time, they're going to say they don't have to do it because the HR person doesn't do taxes.
Mm-hmm, okay.
Yeah, so you could do it that way. So your mortgage statement, how many people have a house? Okay, on that 1098, this is what has been happening because 6 years ago, the IRS changed the rules every 4 years. Well, Congress vote, change, IRS implement, right? So if your mortgage statement isn't doing anything for you, it's because the tax preparer is putting it on the mortgage statement. They need to put it on the Schedule A. The Schedule A, they need to go in where it has other credits, just have them type in the amount over there because it'll calculate Schedule A. You don't want them to put it on the 1098, the mortgage statement, because if they put it up there, you're not going to get the credit for it. It's just basic data entry, just saying I have this statement. Now, if you're at 6 figures and it's done over there, you will get the exemption. But a lot of times people aren't at the 6 figures and they just key it in and nothing happens. So on your 1098, where it has the interest paid or it may have premiums, if they look at the top of it where it has the breakdown and everything, those are the numbers they need to be using. Not just that if it says 6,000 interest, no, they need to use the breakdown. Just key it in separately on the Schedule A. Because the IRS is not going to answer the 1098. What they can see in the system, I tell people this, is nobody at the IRS pulling a file saying, oh, Tracy got a 1098, but she put in all these other numbers. All they see when it comes in is that I have a 1098. The 1098 said this dollar amount, but they can't see the other numbers, but they're not going to care because they just see that I have the other dollar amounts keyed in correctly, right? So, anybody own a rental property? So let me tell you the good thing about a rental property, because I want everybody to have one of those one day, okay? If you have a rental property, that's going to be your saving grace in taxation. The more money you make, that Schedule E is passive income, is going to offset taxes for you. So I want to tell you how to, because I want everybody to own a property, just one. We don't need a lot of money, okay? So if you have a pen, write this down, landhub.gov, landhub.gov. So when you go to Land Hub today, your eyes are going to get big. You're going to be like, this ain't real, but it is. Georgia is the #2 state that have more counties than anybody. It's Dallas, Texas, then it's Georgia. So I tell people this. The issue is that we always trying to find properties close to where we live. We don't want to do that. Land Hub, you'll find properties for $30,000, some for $15,000, some are right in the north.
I seen some, I like, those numbers real?
They are.
Yeah.
They are. So if you go to Land Hub and you can put in any county, I'm going to say you can go ahead and put Atlanta in there if you want to, but you're going to be like, because the prices are extremely high. But if you choose random counties and you put it in there, you're going to see, especially like up in the mountains.
Yeah.
They have properties dirt cheap, $15,000. They have land for $3,000.
Yeah, I seen
I
some.
said, if you go to town, black people need some dirt. I don't care where we get the dirt at, just own the dirt. If that dirt is 2 hours from here, buy the dirt. If it's $3,000, we're going to buy the dirt. Because what happens is this. If you find something and it's like $6,000, $3,000, you can call the zoning department in that area and ask them what's going to happen in the next 5 years. So they're going to say, oh, they're building, if they say they're building a Publix or Kroger or Whole Foods or Sprouts, buy the dirt. Because what's going to happen, somebody's going to call you and say, do you want to sell this dirt? If I bought it for $3, how much you giving me? I'll give you 20, you can have the dirt. Okay. You can have it. You can have it. Because ideally, I hope you bought some dirt somewhere else. But I tell people in our community, because we don't know how to play the long game, we just, a lot of times we be like, okay, 3,000 is too much, 6,000 is too much. But if you got a 680 credit score, don't have to be a 700. Somebody will give you some money. If it's just 10K. Now, people love to talk about they hate Wells Fargo, but hate them all. Chase, Bank of America, Citibank, and Wells Fargo. The 4 of those banks are in what we call the exchange, right? The exchange is that the Federal Reserve created the exchange for big banks, Citibank, Wells Fargo, Chase, Navy Federal. So say if you go to one of them and ask for money, they tell you no, If they have time in the day to put your information in, the other three are gonna tell you no, because they're considered the exchange of the big banks, right? So I tell people, everybody's like, oh, I love Navy Federal. I guess if that's what you wanna play with Navy Federal. But Regions Bank, even PNC, they're pretty good if you build a relationship with them. So the relationship thing is this, and I'm skipping around, guys, because my adult ADD and my brain, these other two people in my head, we having conversation, so this is how I flow.
can relate.
But I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna come back.
It's making sense.
So yeah, it makes sense.
It's making
You with me?
sense.
So I skip around because the adult ADD, she be like, my homegirl be like, you ain't say this. And then the other part of me say, you ain't say this. And then the third person say, you need to calm down before you got adult ADD because you here. Okay. You understand. You understand, Brad. Right.
I got you.
Oh, you got it. Okay. So the Regions and PNC, right? So I tell people the reason that we say we can't get money from the bank, I'm gonna tell you guys this game I used to play with my banker. Right? She just, and my white mentor told me this and it made sense many years ago, right? So I had the high credit score, but every time I would try to get money from them, they would want to give me $10,000, $20,000. I was like, why y'all just, that don't make sense to me. So one day, so my mentor, he was like, Tracy, this is the game. And I'm gonna listen to you, Mr. White Man. He said, go in there with your business banker. He said, and just, when you sit down with her, just look at the desk or him and see what's on their desk. If they have kids, start talking about the kids. If they have a wedding picture, say, oh, you married? All right, so I'm gonna tell you what I did with Aaron, y'all. So when I came one day, I was like, Aaron, I said, we need to talk. I said, the lines of credit, I know what's going into the business account. Why you guys just keep giving me just this? She was like, well, no, it's the system, and the system, I'm not white. And my homegirl saying in my ear, you're not white. Yeah. So the system knows I'm not white, okay, because I know you see the deposits come in as the business, and I know how this works. So I'm looking and seeing that she a wedding picture. I was like, Aaron, you married? Oh, yes. Now I'm trying to be funny or racist because I got a white sister-in-law. But white folks love to talk about themselves. She said, yes. I got married. Tracy, you didn't know I wasn't married? Girl, we're not friends, but no. No, I got married like 2 years ago. I was like, oh, so when are you gonna have kids? Oh, I have one. I was like, you do? Yeah, Lance. Lance, birthday is March the 3rd. Nope, March 3rd, Lance's birthday, okay? You got married, okay, in August. So guess what? March 3rd came, emailing. Aaron, tell Lancey happy birthday. She was as happy as she could be. Next time I go into the bank, Tracy, you remember Lancey's birthday? Yeah. Aaron, I need a line of credit. $150,000 line of credit. Oh, okay, let's look and see what the deposits are that's going in the account. Okay. So put the information in, she come back in. She was like, okay, we could do that. Now, mind you, girl, you just told me that the system decides what my black self gets. No, you decide what I get based on this relationship that I just created with you, right? So I was like, okay, so let me go and try this at my other bank. Let me see if it's gonna work, right? So I go to Wells Fargo, no, that was Wells Fargo. So I go to PNC, right? Travis, okay? Travis is black. We give each other the hardest time. So I was like, Travis, what do I need to do to get like $150,000 line of credit here with you guys, right? Oh, Tracy, they're gonna look at your credit score. I said, but my credit score is at 725, so what does that have to do with it? Oh, they're gonna look at deposits. Travis, have you seen the deposits that go in the business account? Yeah, I said, so let me educate you on something, because business bankers don't know. They just know what's on that computer, what's coming down from corporate, what they're reading. They don't. I said, so it states that if I have $10,000 going into the account monthly, but it doesn't have to stay in the account. It just has to rotate for 90 days in and out of the account, right? Because business people, don't let them fool you. I'm a business person. Sometimes we'll be broke because our money go to other places, and then we just have to figure out, like, okay, the deposit is going to come in. So I said, so it says that if $10,000 is coming in here 90 days, it doesn't have to stay, that the bank has to give me 10,000 times 12. They have to give me that. they have to have a reason why they're not giving it to me. So he was like, oh, let me call the bank manager. Okay, call the little Indian lady in here. I got time, okay? So little Indian lady comes in. You, Tracy? Hi. Travis said that you need $150,000 line of credit, but I said, don't but we. I said, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna call your boss, your underwriter, because the underwriter makes the decision. I tell people the loan officer has one job, data entry. It's the underwriter that makes the decision. So if they say no, you have the right to speak to the underwriter. Oh, I want to talk to the underwriter. Put him on speaker. So she calls the underwriter. So he says, yeah, the computer doesn't do my deposits. I come in and do deposits. Deposits come from the other business people that I do business with. So you're telling me, I said, so this is what we can do. I could get a certified check today. I could just take the money. Oh, Tracy, you don't have to do that. Let me talk to somebody. Sir, who are you talking to? You're the underwriter.
Exactly.
Who are you going to do? Call the BB? Who are you going to talk to? Oh, let's see. So they gave me the line of credit. So I'm telling you, it's relationship based. If you have a business, even if you don't have a business, everything is relationship based at your business, at your bank. So if it's one bank or teller that you go to, remember that teller's name. If it's not, you go to different people, whoever that you feel comfortable with, just remember their name. And always, if it's like, well, I'm going to stand in line and wait for Tracy, do that. Because that teller, she's going to remember you. Well, he's going to remember you. So then you make a relationship with the business banker. Even if you don't have a business, make a relationship with the business banker because they can get money for you. So now we're going to go back to landhub.gov. And start back around.
You said something about Navy Federal if you want to go there.
I don't really care for Navy Federal. I would leverage them, right? So with Navy Federal, this is what I do. This is a game with them. You know, they will match whatever you put into a savings account. It's called, I forgot what it's called, but say if you got $2,500 and you're trying to build a relationship with them, if you put the $2,500 in the savings account, they will give you the $2,500. I can't remember what it's called, but I did it with them before. So, if you got a $5,000 loan from them, right? And then you said, I got $2,500, will you match it? They'll say yes, okay? So I now got your $5,000 loan, and you match my $2,500. I'm gonna pay your $5,000 loan back with the $2,500 you gave me. Does that make sense? So my payments are gonna come from what you gave me. So this is the same thing I tell people, if I get a loan from somebody, say if the bank gave me $50,000, right? Revolving credit is always going to be your best credit. So if you give me a credit card that has $25,000 on it, the day that I'm sitting in the bank with you, I'm going to say, hey, as a courtesy, will you take $15,000 or $25,000 off of that and put it into my checking account or my business account? They will do that for you. So now, if just say hypothetically, I got your $25 on my revolving credit card, right? Your $25 in my business account. How am I going to pay you back with the $25,000 that you gave me in cash? Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So I'm going to still use your card, but I'm not using my money to pay it back. I'm going to use your money to pay it back to you, right? So if I do that for 6 months or 3 months, if I want $25,000, $50,000 more, I'm going to do the same thing. Every bank, same thing will say, if you say, okay, I'm going to give you an increase of 25, now I got 50,000, I'm going to say to you, okay, as a one-time courtesy, now the one-time courtesy is going to run out sometimes, but hey, you're going to say, can you put 10,000 of it into my checking account or my business account? They're going to do that, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to pay you back with the money that you gave me as cash. So you're never going to use your money. That's what we do in our communities. We don't know. You use their money all the time. So if somebody gave you, let's say, a $75,000 credit card, right? I tell people, you really in life, on a regular person, you only need 2 credit cards, right? And you need one that's going to be $50,000. Man, you can get one that's $100,000. That's really all you need. So what I do with my credit cards, and I tell people I love American Express, and I love American Express for this. People think you got to pay American Express all at one time. You don't. In that app they have we call it like buy now, pay later. It's up there. They have what we call 4-way pay. So if I swipe that card, the gold card, that's the one I use most of the time for everything because I want the points, right? So if I swipe something, just say $3,000, am I gonna give American Express $3,000 on the 14th? They're not gonna get it. I go into the app, I do pay later. So they split the payments up and it tells me what's due on my due date. I give them that one. And then if I give them that, like say $800, the two that I spent, they still increase it back over when the balance due, and it starts back over. So American Express, their Gold Card, American Express checking account, American Express savings account, American Express is your best friend. And guess what? You only need a 675 credit score with American Express. I tell people all the time, American Express wants to be bigger than Citibank. Citibank is the biggest bank. So American Express wants to be bigger than them. So they want people to do business with them. So I tell people, get the Gold Card with them. Swipe that Gold Card for everything. For a bottle of water, swipe it. Because guess what? They're giving you 2 points for food. If you just, the grocery store, when I look at the credits I get for the grocery store, I be like, oh, okay. So another thing I do that's a good habit, if you know you're not good with money, you like to just spend your money on your debit card, if you swipe the credit card and you see what's due, you can then just go pay it with your debit card. Yeah, I said people just do it that way because a lot of times people aren't good with money, and I've been one of those people before. That I was like, oh, I'm going to swipe that credit card, I'm going to spend my money too. I'm going to swipe the credit card and spend my money too. But then I'm like, I ain't got the money to pay my credit card. Girl, you had it. Then my homegirl in my ear says, girl, you had it. You was just swiping. So, back another thing with credit cards. I bought a property with a credit card, y'all. Let me tell y'all what I did. So I'm from North Carolina, right? The part of North Carolina I'm from is a small community. So what I was gonna do, I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy the block back up, right? I was like, because I'm not gonna let y'all come over here. Even though the area, I didn't grow up in that area because it was called the hood. The reason we don't call it the neighborhood, because there ain't nothing neighborly about the hood. So I was like, I'm gonna go with him by the hood and make it neighborly, right? Okay, so are you guys familiar with shotgun houses? Do you know what shotgun houses are? Okay. So the town I'm from, we have a lot of shotgun houses. Like, you can see straight through them. Jesse, the shotgun houses,
I
you
know.
see straight through.
I seen it, I can't remember the name of that show.
Okay, so,
That show. Yeah, I saw it on TV. They have a lot of them. Yeah, New Orleans. I got
okay, yeah, shotgun. Yeah. So what I did, I called the city, right? And the lady wasn't very kind to me at first, but she's nicer to me now because the relationship, talking to her, she doesn't look like, she look like this, she look like this, okay? So she was, people can never believe that we can afford to do something in cash. It seems like it's just a thing with them. So I said, hey, can you send me the list of all the homes that you have on Branch Street, all right? And I don't want these houses to be over $50,000. I said, because I'm gonna pay cash. She was like, you're gonna pay cash? I was like, yes, ma'am, and people will not pay cash. Now, I'm from here, so I know that they can pay the cash. She was like, well, they normally put their homes, bid them at the courthouse. Ma'am, no, because these houses aren't in foreclosure. These are houses people haven't paid taxes. North Carolina is a deed state, we're not a lien state. So the lien, it means, you gotta hold the house for a year, person come back. I do deed states where whatever I buy it, I own it. So what I did, it was a house that was $25K, maybe 27 something. So I had the credit card, it was $25,000, right? That wasn't the American Express card, it was a Wells Fargo card. So I called Wells Fargo, I was like, hey, can you increase this card? They increased it by like $5,000. So when I got the property, I went in and asked for the letter, so I'm gonna swipe the credit card. She's like, you can't do that. Does your system not process $25,000? Why can't I do it, ma'am? Well, because my homegirl's about to start acting like she's from the hood. So I would need you to gather yourself, ma'am. So she was like, okay. So I'm laughing because I was like, she want this card to decline. So bad, better not. So she was like, man, why is you fiddling with that paper? She was like, okay. I said, are you okay? Cause she was like, yes, I'm fine. I said, are you having a bad day? No, I'm not. I said, can you give me, I'm looking at the list. So I said to her, I said, I'm gonna ask you something. I said, can I call you, cause I don't live here anymore? I said, and see if these homes are still available, cause I know you got something I'm gonna put in the system, cause I know what you do. You're gonna make sure your friends get the properties. And that was going on, cause my friend that lives there, she was telling me she couldn't buy anything because they was allowing the city to buy families and friends come in. I was like, okay.
Before they listen.
Right, they was doing it that way. So she was like, I guess. So what I started doing, I would see the list, I would see on the line, right? Then I would call and she would say, they are not available. I said, but they're on the line. So can I buy this house right here and you swipe my credit card? I can't do that. You have to do an authorization. I said, well, I could do that. Could you email it to me? So we went through that for like 3 times. Now she's my buddy. Miss Betsy is my buddy. Hey, Tracy! When I call her, Miss Betsy, can you send me? Yeah, I can. And the reason she did, I sent her some flowers. Just out the blue. One day I was like, let me see this. Some flowers, because it's the game that I'm trying to play with her. And I'm going to make her my buddy, because for business reasons, I don't care. Do you guys know who Bob Johnson is? You remember him? Bob Johnson said this one time, many, many moons ago, at a seminar. He said, black people, he said, you know why we don't do business well in a room or outside the room? He said, because you guys are too emotional. He said, and I know that's going to make some of y'all mad because you're emotional. He said, because somebody you're trying to do business with that, like this, not like this, or even they like this, and they tell you no, you can't take that to the chin. It's like you gotta, if you really want the business, you gotta say, okay, I might not get it from you, but I'm gonna get it from somebody. And I'm not gonna be, I could be mad for this moment right now, but I can't be mad because that becomes personable. And I don't wanna be personal, it's business. Another example I'm gonna give you guys. I had an office on Satellite about 13 years ago. White guy, William. So after tax season, what I would do, I would sublease the building to somebody else, right? So I remember William called me one day. He was like, Tracy, he was like, I haven't got the $5,000 in 2 months. Where's the rent? So I'm like, I subleased to this lady. He was like, I need you to meet me at the office, right? So, okay, I go there. Nice guy. William taught me a great lesson in business. He said, Tracy, I want my $10,000 by the end of the week, next week. He said, because I rent it to you. He said, now if I don't have it, I'm going to file the papers at Gwinnett County. I'm going to take you to court. And once we go finish court, I'm going to take you to lunch. So I'm looking at this man. I know this man did not say he's going to take me to lunch. I mean, take me to court? This man got to be crazy. So my homegirl getting hot. She was like, Tracy. So my face talks. So I'm looking at him. And he said, Tracy, sit down, let me explain something to you, because I like you. He said, business is business every day. He said, me taking you to lunch has nothing to do with the personal side of it. You owe me $10,000. Right. Why are you going to be mad at me about what you owe me? Because you're taking me to court. Sir. That's an emotional, Tracy. You got to put your emotions to the side. He was like, because I rented to you, not her. So I need my money. Bob Johnson popped up in my head. You can't be emotional in business. You gotta give this man his money. So my little hurt self went to the bank, looked at the account, I said, okay, can I get a certified check to give William his money? So he waited, I came back, I gave him a check. He said, you wanna go to lunch? I said, William, I'm not there yet, I'm not there with you. Me and my homegirl not that mature yet. I'm cussing you out in my head. Because you could have let me give you 5 and gave you the other 5 after I talked to this lady. That's what I'm having saying in my mind, but he really didn't have to do that. So that taught me any room that I go in and do business with people, that I don't take it personal. And that emotional intelligence is really a thing.
Yes.
In our community, we lack it sometimes. And I tell people all the time, like, you talk about us all the time. I said, am I black? Who else am I talking about? I can talk about me, us. I can't talk about them. Now, I can because I do business with, but I care about us. And that we lack a lot of understanding in a lot of things. Taxation, definitely. How to run our business, definitely. Even with life insurance. It's just saying that's how I met him, and I'm skipping around to tell you guys something about life insurance. How people don't know that you can leverage your life insurance to pay your taxes to the IRS. They don't tell us that, but you can do it. So it's like the more money you make, the more you can leverage life insurance, right? So I tell people the reason Donald Trump didn't go to jail is because of life insurance, IULs. So I don't know if you guys remember when he was in office, it was the best time for me because I laughed every day. When he was debating with Joe and they was talking about his taxes, and he looked over at Joe, he said, Joe, what are you talking about? The bill was passed, you signed off on the bill, Congress passed it, IRS implemented, y'all did the same thing, what are you talking about here? Do y'all remember, anybody remember saying it, right? Yeah. So what he was saying was this, right? There's a code in insurance, right? So it's, you guys familiar with the IULs? Okay. So IUL basically is this, right? I tell people, even if you don't make a lot of money, you can tax shelter inside of IULs. So what the uber rich do, so also the IRS codes are created, the uber wealthy people create the codes. Congress don't sit there and create a code. So the wealthy people, they sit down, the 1% to the 3%, they say, okay, this is how much money I got, this is what I want to pay. What do we need to come up with? So they say, okay, let's do this and make it a law. And then we give it to Congress, and because Congress, we got them in our pocket, IRS is going to implement it. They don't even know why the people that you call the IRS, they don't supposed to know how to do taxes, unless it's in the auditor, the person, the supervisor. We're going to get them to say this because we know that poor people and the middle class people don't understand. So you have to learn how to play the wealthy game, right? So this is what I tell people. Just what Donald Trump did was this. If he didn't pay taxes on $10 million, it was because he took a insurance premium policy, right? He overfunded it. So just say if I make $250,000, and on $250,000, the IRS want me to give them $137,025. I know the number easily because they tried to get it, and I did it one time, and they'll never get it from me again. Okay? So all I had to do was that amount they wanted was overfund the IUL. Because the rule is, if I take my money and put it in an insurance-like policy and overfund it, it's not taxable. Because I put it inside of an
So the
insurance.
money you're gonna pay back to your taxes.
I overfund the IUL. So, yes.
Can you explain that everything?
Okay. Did you just have a whiteboard? Why so I'm gonna bring a whiteboard? Because I was gonna show y'all on the whiteboard. Y'all got one? Okay. I'm gonna show you how it looks on the whiteboard. Because we all visual. People tell me, I'm audio. Girl, no you're not. You visual. We all are visual people. Now you can read something, comprehend it sometimes, but I still gotta see it. Because it makes more sense when I see it. So basically, that's how you get the whiteboard. The uber rich, the wealthy people. We y'all wealthy too, because I say I'm uber wealthy. Okay? I see it all the time flowing in and out that account. It's raining on me right now. Y'all can't see it, but my homegirl can see it. You can see it, yes, all the time.
all over me.
I walk through money someday. I be kicking money out the way. And I be kicking it out the way. So I have my son laughing sometimes. I be like, Mom, what you doing? I said, you don't see that money I just kicked out the way with it to you? Pick it up. I need $50 in real life, okay? Oh, okay. I didn't know. Yeah, you can't do that with an 18-year-old. Thank you, Jessica, for bringing it up. I understand. I understand it.
It's a lot.
And then do you?
You got some markers?
I do.
I'm about to say, I have some upstairs. If
They're right here.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, y'all. Miss Weston, I'm gonna call you back in an hour, okay? All right, bye. So I'm telling them the tax shelter game of the IUL.
You know what? This may be better.
On the side.
take pictures, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll use business. Is it a disregard, a LLC or a corporation?
LLC.
We're not gonna do LLCs, but I'm gonna tell y'all why. But we're gonna go there. You got LLC too. I know you do. I know you do.
So I need to change it?
I know you do. So I'm gonna tell you this first, and I'm gonna tell you guys how to tax shelter with your insurance policy. The reason that you wanna be taxed as an S corp, right?
Yeah.
A LLC is a disregarded entity. That means your taxes are done on a Schedule C, on the personal side. Isn't that where your taxes are? Okay? You don't want that. Because a Schedule C is taxed at 29% for employee and employer taxes, right? So let's just say, hypothetically, the business made 10K, right? This is what black people do. We do this right here. We try to write all this off. We try to make this zero because our regular income. So our income could have been 50K, right? And we know with this, it would have made it 60K, right? And on 60K, if you look at the document, you'll know that you should have gave them folks at least, we'll say 12K in taxes. All right? But this is on 60K, on 60K, right? But because I made 10K and I'm an LLC, I'm gonna end up giving you 14.7% more. Because I'm not paying employee and payroll taxes in my regular income. Does it make sense? So if I'm taxed as an S corp, right, that means that those taxes are washed away on that side. So LLCs, I tell people all the time, you don't want to do taxes on it. If you don't make money in the business, and if it's making $10,000, $5,000, then yeah, you could do that. But if I'm at $35,000 in my business, I need to be taxed as a corporation.
So I just got an EIN number this week for mental health stuff. So I did do S corp. Can you do LLC and S corp together?
No, you can be a LLC and then have it taxed as a corporation. Don't ever start it out as a corporation.
Okay, yeah, I did
Because
LLC.
most companies, you see most companies have LLC behind their name, right? But they're tax corporations.
So the tax corporation is S corp.
Yes.
Okay.
So until you make about 35K, keep it as the LLC.
So
So-
question for you.
Go
My
ahead.
other business, I'm sorry,
No, you good.
we made 6 figures last year.
You should have been a corporation. I hope you didn't do that under a LLC.
I'm gonna talk to you afterwards.
You
Yeah, I need to talk to you too.
did. You did. You ain't know. And I blame the tax person.
I don't have a tax.
And I blame
You do now.
I do. That's what I'm saying. That's what I said when you came in. I said, yeah, we're gonna be talking.
Blame
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
So, once you at that 35K, you need to be taxed as a corporation. Because the IRS rule is right now, it's gonna stay this way until the election, and then it's probably gonna still stay that way. If you make up to $250,000 inside of a S corp, all right, you don't have to pay taxes anymore. But the rule is this: you must be an employee of your corporation. So how it looks is this, and I'm gonna tell you, if I make, this is what I do. I tell people, they be like, "That's how you get away with it." I learned it from them, from these folks, right here. If I make 500K or 500K, the IRS says I need to pay myself a suitable wage according to what my business is, right? So I do all things finances, right? And I do real estate. So I looked at the codes, right? I paid myself $150, right? So the business may have made this, but I paid myself this, and on $150, instead of me giving them $100-some thousand, I give them this, 40K, 40,000. So I gave them 40,000. So that means I owe them taxes, right? But what I did, now we go back to the insurance, the IUL, the insurance. Let me put insurance. Now excuse my handwriting. I'm a financial guru, not a great writer. Okay, so the IRS want me to give them 137K. on about 70K on my 150, right? So 40 from 70, then what, that's $30,000 I didn't give them? So what I did, because I made this, I made this, right? So I took the amount I supposed to pay them and put it over here.
In your insurance.
I overfunded our IUL it was at. The
So
death
30
benefit
you
is
wanna
one.
pay them, you overfunded
So
your,
the death benefit is 1.5, right? My premiums inside of this policy every month for me is $2,200. So if I'm making this, I can afford to do this, right? So all I did was I overfunded, because the IRS says that if I'm a corporation, I can make up to $250,000 and not owe taxes in the business. So if I make $1 million, because the IRS said, I'm gonna always say I make $250, and then I'm gonna take the difference, I'm gonna overfund IULs. So when it's time for me to do my taxes, right, on the S Corp side, it has premiums that you paid into a policy. I put it over there. So this 500K, right, it goes down, right? So the 500K could be really $100,000, right? So, and you know, over here, the S Corp creates what we call a K1, y'all, a K1. So this K1 is gonna come over here to my regular income. So if I have 100,000 over here, that makes, I have a W-2 to 60, so now I'm at $160,000, right? But I only paid, what, 10K in taxes. We know that's not the reality. It's gonna make me old, right? So, the goal is this, you create another LLC. So your second LLC, when you're trying to clear all those losses, you do it on the second LLC. You get it? Did it make sense?
Say that, start again.
So create another company.
So you,
Create another company.
and you let that one stay on the personal side.
but you
but the
create
one
an
I-
LLC.
But the one I made all my money in,
Yeah.
Was it cool?
Still
Tax.
here.
Okay.
because I didn't pay the proper amount of money, and I still need to have some write-offs. My second LLC, I'm gonna do the write-offs over there.
Mm.
Instead of having an LLC where I made 60, made 10 in the business, writing it all off just to have 50,000, that's not gonna be conducive at the bank and handle at the bank. Because even though the business made this, not the write-offs is what it said, see, the bank sees this.
Yeah.
They're gonna go with that. So they're gonna take my 500K plus my 160 and say that I'm good for $660,000. They give me funding off of that. Right? So even if, now mind you, I was telling you about the 10K, they can go in the account 3 times a month. So just let's say $10,000. I only make this $10,000 once a month, right? But if all of this went into the account, the bank is gonna divide that by the 3 months to see that I had 10K that went in there. So I can get a deposit loan. So they have what we call deposit loans. We just don't know that's what it's called. Because most of the time we go in there, we say, hey, can I get a business loan? And they're gonna be like, oh, okay, let me run your social security number. You're gonna have to be a personal guarantor to the first time when you get a loan, which is fine. I tell people it's fine because you're building relationships. But if you know that you don't have, your business is not making a lot of money, just say a deposit loan. Depending on your banker, they could do it off of 3K. Whatever goes in an account consistently, that's what the amount they'll give you the money off of. Yes.
Is there, so you say you can make that second LLC. Is there an amount that you want to have in that first LLC before you would think of creating a second?
35K.
35.
Above 35K. Yeah. And you gotta be an employee over here, so that means that you have to get on payroll for your company. Like I use paychecks, ADP, I hate ADP. But you gotta be on payroll. And this is another thing I tell us. Most of the time when people come to me, my clients, most of them are at that 250, the highest person probably make 10 million in his business. When they come, being on payroll is the hardest thing for them. Because this is what we say. And we all have done this, and I laugh when I'm sitting with people, I say, you're not doing anything I haven't done before, so I'm not gonna act like I haven't done it. When black folks, I'm gonna tell y'all the magic now, it never fails. When black folks start making $250,000 in the business, baby, they rich. They rich. They don't want to pay the taxes. They don't want to be on payroll. All they know is, I need to see my 250, Tracy. I said, okay, I get that. I've been you. If you see this, you really ain't seeing this. If that's what you're doing, you just happy you can spend. You're like, okay, the mortgage paid, the rent paid, the car paid, I can travel. People lose their mind at $250,000 in our community, and I get it because a lot of us are first generational wealth by our definition. This is wealth by our definition, all right? So I tell people, I say, okay, $250K, and you over here is supposed to be a corporation. Right? You don't want to pay yourself $1,500 bi-weekly, which would equate to $3K. I was like, so you can do the $3K times 12. It's coming back to you. It comes out of your business account, goes right back to your personal account. You're just paying taxes over here to be able to leverage yourself at the bank. Right? Because if you go to the bank, say what they're going to do. They're going to say, are you on payroll? No. Do you have your P&L, your balance sheets? What's that? You a business? You don't have balance sheets, payroll, ledgers? Hit the eject button on the side of the chair. Because they not about the food, guys. They not. And most of the time, 99% of the time, we don't want to be on payroll. Because once we get this, we rich. We don't do balance sheets. We don't do P&Ls, we don't do ledgers. We have to have these things when we're going to the bank, trying to get these folks money. Because the game is going to be the long game with us. We got to do A through Z, all right? So, another thing that I was going to tell you guys when we was talking about insurance. So people that don't have a business, let me tell you something how you can leverage the insurance. I don't like whole life policies because, does anybody have a whole life insurance policy? You have a whole life? What company do you have with?
Lincoln Heritage.
Oh, I like that. Do you know if that policy implode upon itself, that your premiums are eating away the policy?
Say that again.
Do you know if the policy implodes upon itself? So what that means basically is this, because we don't know. Call them and ask them, are your premiums eating away at your policy? So what happens is this, so say, is it 50,000, 100,000?
50.
50,000, okay. So a $50,000 whole life policy. Your premiums, if it's inside of the S&P, the S&P is like the stock market. So a lot of times, insurance policies, they yield their money from the S&P and other entities under the S&P.
Okay.
So that policy, it could pay for itself, but their premiums would eat away. So say if you pass, you may not really have 50,000. Your kids will be like, Mama said you have a $50,000 policy. Then they'll be like, no, the premiums ate the policy away. Because you're paying a bare minimum into the policy. So the first 3 years, we're just paying premiums. And they're eating away the policy. But if you have a whole life that is not doing that, it's a good policy.
Yeah, I don't think
So-
it's doing that, but I'll double check. But I don't think it's
When you
doing
pull,
that.
do you ever
So,
pull your
I
the
have
statement
before.
for
I have before pulled money from it
the statement? You pull the money from it before?
once before I did.
Okay. So when you pull the money, you're not paying it back, right? Are you paying it back?
I paid it back.
Don't ever do it. Because it's your money, it's the premiums. So why am I going, this is what I tell people about whole life. 100,000 is the highest I've seen on most of them, right? And even if I can borrow against it, it's like a 401k. I hate 401ks. People shouldn't have 401ks. They're garbage. So why am I paying you back my money? Does it make sense? It's your policy, so why am I paying you back? So I tell people, permanent is the best way to go because you get more in a permanent policy. So I like IULs because, say, I have, how many children I got, y'all? My two grandkids. So what I did with them was, I was like, okay, I know how I want the life to look for them when I transition, and I know what I already have now, right? So for each child, each child has a property, right? So I was like, okay, they could never sell the property because I put it inside of my estate. They could never sell this property. It always has to be income for them. So I did a policy of 2.5 million on myself for each one of them. Now my granddaughter is only 8, so I was like, I have time to get a policy that's 2.5. So for her, that policy is only 500,000, right? So I only paid probably $200 a month, I think. I'm not sure. I can remember for that policy for her. So what I do with her policy, I use it to overfund it for real estate purposes.
Okay.
So when I don't want to pay all my money in taxes, I take the money and I dump it inside her policy. So if I dump $50,000 in that 25, 10 or whatever, on tomorrow if I want my money, I can still get my money because I'm still making my premiums, but I'm overfunded, right? So I can still take my.
You can borrow.
You can take, it's yours. You can take whatever you put in there. You can take plus the interest.
So will you be taxed on that?
No, because it's pre-tax money. It's my money. So if I'm taking my cash and giving it to somebody, I already paid the taxes on it. Make sense? So now this is just me overfunding a policy and avoiding taxation of my money, right? So I like IULs and perm policies
Perm.
because they're just
Not
better. Like you gotta see. I tell people how you choose a policy is based on what you're trying to do after you leave here. So if like one of my best friends, she has no kids, right? So she was like, Tracy, why do I need $1 million policy? I said, you don't. She's like, why do I need $500,000? I was like, you don't. I was like, if I was you, I would just pay for a burial and not pay for insurance, unless you're gonna use it while you're living to buy real estate. That way, I would do it. But if it's just me and I have no kids, I'm not gonna pay premiums every month unless I'm using the money to enjoy my life while I'm here. You know what I mean? So another thing about the insurance policies, if you get one, if you do have one, 150. You should have at least 150.
You're saying the IUL, or you're saying like the
Regular, it could be
regular, like
one-
the
yeah,
whole
it needs
life
to be
or whatever,
150.
150.
Yeah, because look at it this way. I say 150, but if you guys have a mortgage on your house,
No.
okay. If you have a mortgage, it needs to be what the mortgage is on the house.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yes.
How do you feel about, with that whole life and term, how do you feel about that?
I like term for if, I'm in my 50s. My younger self, yeah, but I tell my clients that are in there at 45, why are you playing with term insurance? We're living it longer. Why am I gonna waste my money on a term?
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna be 100 when I leave, me and God make the deal.
Right.
My granddaughter, she put it out there, she said, I asked God to let you live to be 100. I said, girl, 100? Did you tell him to make sure I can walk and see and talk and all? She said, okay, I'll go back and say that, yeah, but you gotta stay here till you're 100. I'll be okay at 100. I said, okay, I'll be here. So as God, from her mouth to your ear, she said, I gotta be here at 100 because she won't be able to function. So I don't like term because we are living longer, and it's a waste of money to me. Now, Dave Ramsey would tell you something different. You know Dave Ramsey, he loved term insurance policies. I just don't like them for, it's like, why am I wasting my money? But I tell people, that's what you can afford right now, at least you have something. Now, because we don't need to be doing fish fries and GoFundMe's for our people. And I tell people die selfishly and make you bury them. And I've been in that space. About where I don't like whole life, my grandma, she passed. My grandma, you know, old people have insurance. So my grandma, she didn't know that her policy included her herself, right? So when my granddad had passed, we used the policy part of to bury him. So when she transitioned, my mom was like, Mama didn't have insurance. I was like, yes, she did. She was paying the policy. She was like, no, the man said she doesn't have it. So I didn't care about burying my grandma because that's who raised me. Then my brother, he passed me sickle cell anemia. He couldn't really get insurance, right? So, but the whole life that they offered him, it wasn't gonna be enough. So he was 43 when he passed. So I used to say to him all the time, I was like, look, Eric, you need to get a burial. Since I ain't getting it, you'll bury me. That's selfish.
Yeah.
That's selfish when people do that. And I just looked at him and said, yeah, because ain't nobody else in this family gonna do it. So it's me. So I had to bury him. So then I had the conversation with other family members. I said, look at here, let me tell y'all something. If your mama does not have insurance and she passed, don't call me, because I'm not gonna bury them. Even that, and I told, and even though I said this, I said, what we could do, y'all, we could put our money together and we can get these insurance policies and $500,000 $1 million policies on the aunts. You guys have kids. We can, once they pass, we can divide the money amongst each other and give to the kids. But you know how we are. I don't want to do that, Tracy. If your parents pass, don't call me. So guess what I get a call from? My first cousin, my uncle. God rest his soul. He was one of my favorite uncle. I loved him. He was an alcoholic. He lived in Pennsylvania. He passed. His daughter called me. She was like, Tracy, Uncle Simon passed. I said, I know. She's like, he didn't have any insurance. I said, okay. Can you help? Nope. My mom called. Tracy, I'm not burying your brother. Y'all figure it out. But I'm not the cow.
Yeah.
I'm not that person. Yeah, I tell people, I dealt with survivor's remorse. We know what survivor's remorse is. When I started, the person in the family starts doing good and everybody want to ask you for help. I was that person. I was like, okay, I'm going to help you pay your rent that you know was due, girl, because you was going out partying. Okay, I'm going to buy you some groceries when you had food stamps and you wouldn't let me get the card. I'm going to do that for you. So one day my dad's in North Carolina, my dad said to me here, called me one day, he said, hey, baby. He said, why you paying folks rent? His great nieces was my cousin. I said, well, Daddy, because she said she was about to get evicted. He said, okay. He said, she know her rent due, right? I said, yes, sir. He said, she know she got them kids in the house too, right? I was like, yes, sir. He said, so why do you care about something that somebody else don't care about? I was like, Daddy, you know I can't okay, you keep letting these folks play with you. He said, I said, but you saying it, but you taught me to help people. He said, I told you to help people to help themselves. Stop doing it. So back to my uncle. So they thought I was playing, y'all. They really thought I was going to bury that man. So my cousin called again. She was like, Tracy, can you just loan me $5,000? I don't have it. I said, so hold on, let me change it because God told me to stop telling that lie. I said, I'm not going to give it to you. No, I said, I'm not going to give it to you. I'm not going to do that. That's your dad. Y'all got to figure out what y'all going to do. And I love my uncle. He's an alcoholic. He had throat cancer. He had a surgery. The doctor told him if he continued to drink Wild Irish Rose that he was going to die. And my mom and them, they was trying to tell him what to do. I told my mom, I said, you trying to tell a man that's 60-some years old in Pennsylvania not to drink Wild Irish Rose? He going to drink it. Y'all might as well leave it alone. So when I was talking to him, I was like, oh, you draw? Yeah, about to go get me some Wild Irish Rose. Okay. So guess what? The maintenance man opened up his door because the winos that sit on the scoop with him, they all sit outside all the time. They didn't see him for 2 days when in there. He died. He had a seizure. But when he smelled of wine. So my cousin was funny when I didn't go to the funeral. So she called me and she was like, Tracy, Daddy it was a bunch of winos that showed up at Daddy's funeral. I said, girl, you uncle was a wino. You thought was coming to the funeral. The non-alcoholics? Oh, Tracy, but everybody was drunk. Girl, your daddy was a wino. He sat on this scoop every day with the winos. They were friends. Who you thought was coming? The sober folks? But I'm glad you buried your daddy. Yeah, it set me back. That's your daddy. So I tell people, if you can just afford the term, yeah, definitely get the term. But if you can just do burial, do the burial. Because you got to have some. It's selfish for us to leave here and have people sitting out here struggling, trying to figure out how they're going to put us in the ground. And we are notorious for it in our communities. We are notorious for it. I have a client, he's a scammer. Right? This boy made over $1 million last year. Right? So I said to him, somebody said, Tracy, help him because he does the online gaming. But he made over $1 million doing it. So, and then he was racing cars in Atlanta. They was like downtown, wherever they go to race cars, paying like $25,000 and $50,000 for each person, like just making them money, just you know, I'm just out here acting crazy. So he came to me, I said, hey, how much of that money you got now? So, oh, Miss Tracy, I probably got at home about 300,000. I said, how much life insurance you got? I don't have any. I said, so your stupid behind gonna die, and your mama, who I'm sure you're not giving her for what you spending in the streets. You're not giving your mama. Oh, mama, if I do that, my mama gonna ask me where the money came from. Well, I could be your mama. I ain't gonna ask you. Cash. I take cash because we're gonna put your money somewhere. Because you can't be out here acting crazy, making this type of money, and then you pass, and your mom got to figure out how to bury you. So what I did with him, I said, okay, you can afford a $500,000 IUL. You can afford to pay $1,200 a month. So what we're going to do, we're going to do 12 times 12. You're going to give it to me. We're going to put it in your business account, and I'm going to have the insurance company take it all out for a year. So now we know for a year, go act a fool. Go to jail if you want to, but your mom got some life insurance on you. It just has to make sense. I have, and this is the thing too, people that make money, let me tell y'all this number again, we think we rich at, get it back up here. You know, people would start working at $250,000. I had a client that I kept telling her this, she does herbal products, skincare. So she was like, Miss Tracy, I'm going on vacation. I said, how much is the vacation? She was like, 3,000. She said, I'm going on about 5 this year. I said, 3,000 times 5. She was like, what? And then I'm going to just come back to work. I said, you need to be on payroll. So I'm going to tell you guys what this is what I tell people in business they should have. You need to have a regular checking, right? Then you have a bill checking. Then you have what we call a recreational account. People say you never heard of this before. But if I have a business, right, and I'm on payroll, just say I paid myself, my bills equate to $5,000 a month. So in my regular checking, which is supposed to be my business account, it's my business. In this account, I might have $10,000. But I'm going to add up what my bills are for the month, right? And say my bills could be $3,000. But I'm the person that's making $250. So I should be paying myself every 2 weeks about $2,000. So that's $4,000 a month, right? So I'm going to have this $4,000 come in here. But after taxes, let's just say only $3,200 is going to come in here. So my bills are $3,000. So now I just have $200, right? So what I'm going to do with this $200, I'm going to put $100 over here because it's recreational money. This can always increase what I pay myself, but you must have a recreational account because you don't want to be taking bill money for recreational activities. Does that make sense? So what I do is I pay myself, say I'm going to pay myself $10,000 a month. My bills are not $10,000, but if I'm gonna pay myself $10,000 after taxes by 8 something, and my bills could be 6. So say if I have $2,000 left over here, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put for me at least $1,000 over here. So if I had money, which I had money left when I paid my bills, right, I'm not gonna pay myself $10,000 the next pay period because it makes no sense to do that because I had money left. So whatever the difference is, that's what I'm paying myself. So if it was $8,000. If I had 2 left, I'm paying myself $8,000. And I'm still going to give myself recreational money. So when I spend money, I'm not upset because it's my recreational money. Because my business account won't stay where it's supposed to be, and my bills are going to be paid. Does that make sense? And it's the same thing in regular life. Wage income, I tell people it's the same thing. If you have a regular checking account, this is where your W-2 income comes in, right? And you have your bills. And you get the recreational account. Your life will work out so much better that way. I guarantee it. So if you make $1,200 a week, and you know what if your bills are $3,000 a month, you need to be every time you get paid moving money over here for bills. And then you need to be taking the amount of this to give yourself recreational money. Cause there's gonna be nails, fast food, pedicures. It's the will and probate court cause they fussing about a Tonka truck. The sister said she wanted because she grew up with it and she wanted her son to have it. He was 2 years old. The brother saying, no, it was my truck. I want it. You not going to get it. Why is they fussing about this $5.99? We're not really fighting about this. We're fighting about the control of it.
Yeah.
That I'm going to show you. They spent, he said, so much money in probate court when his mom would have had an estate. It made him the trustee of it. It made it irrevocable. It wouldn't have happened. So I tell people this is the thing about irrevocable. I like irrevocable in my youth, in my older age. I like revocable being young. And I'm going to tell you why I like revocable. Because our minds will forever change. Right? I have people come to me and they have an irrevocable trust and it costs them a lot, thousands of dollars for me to go back in and adjust it. And I say, you did this because you didn't know no better, because you saw something on YouTube and somebody told you to do that, didn't you?
Right.
It was like, yeah, you know, because I know people love YouTube.
Yeah.
Y'all are YouTube it, but you won't call the person that made the video, and you won't find out if what you really should do after that. Then you go to good old TikTok, and somebody on TikTok told you, do it, irrevocable trust.
And Google.
Yeah, baby, what you doing? So, I'm going to show you guys this. And let y'all get out of here. Because my homegirl is hungry. I told you, I know I should have bought my own board. So I'm going to show you this one first. This is for the business people. And I told you it would be $250 every time the black folks let me reach at $250. I'd be like, girl, I have a client, y'all, she's 28. I'm gonna tell you something that she did. It was ingenious. She created a business that she does people homework. So we know it's illegal to do homework, right? She graduated from Kennesaw State about 4 years ago. And she said, help me do the homework. So she came to me, I said, we're not gonna say you do homework, we're gonna say you're tutoring people and AI can help. So she hired 20 people over in Bangladesh, which are Indian people, right? You know, they smart. Then she hired 10 people here. So college students, they don't like writing papers. They don't. She is so savvy at it that she go in and take people tests. People give her their ID. These people, they're not looking at you. She present the ID, they put it in the scan thing, she sit down, she take folks tests. To take somebody's test, it's $5,000, okay? During the summertime, these rich children, they want to go on vacation to fool la la. They do your work, the entire semester while you out fool la la, it's $15K. She charged her $15K. She's 28, she made 1.2 last year. This year, she made $1.8 million. Wow. Right? And she's 28 years old. And I'm going to tell you what's so funny about that. When she came, right, somebody sent her to me. So I'm listening to me, and she's so excited. You better be bouncing around. You made some looking at her books, and she's excited. She was like, yeah, but Tracy, I made $1 million. I said, but your account don't say that. She was like, I said, Mia, where's your money? Oh, I took 10 people out the country, was gone for 30 days, and I paid for everybody, and I went and bought a house out in Fairburn. I said for $250,000. She was like, you see that? I said, yeah, I see it. Oh, I said, who told you to give somebody $250,000 cash for a house? Mia? Well, my mom and my dad. Mia, have your parents ever seen $1 million? No. What's the highest amount of money that your dad made? Oh, my dad makes about 90. What your mama made? Oh, about 130 million. You made $1 million. They ain't got no advice to give. You was listening to the wrong people, sis. You was listening to the wrong people. And in your account bill, it says right now that you only have over $100,000. Where your money at? Mia, I'm ready to tell you where your money at. Why are you paying them people over in Bangladesh, Mia? $1,000 this day, $5,000 this day, $3,200 this day. Oh, man, Tracy, because they do the work really fast, baby. Them people in Bangladesh, she ain't never seen that type of money ever.
Mhm.
Baby, you ain't gotta pay them that. You gonna pay them what, a little more than what they normally make in that country, then her best friend.
Mhm.
Okay, and I like this work because I told her she should have been doing this. She was paying the best friend about $100,000. I said, Mia, you got to give your best friend $200,000 a year. The best friend was running the company. She was basically doing everything. That's why Mia was able to fool our law with 10 other people for 30 days out the country. I said, so you mean to tell me, Ivana runs your business? She was like, yes, ma'am. And you pay her $100,000? She ain't that smart. You know, you have workers and then you have business
Right.
people. She was like, yes, ma'am. I said, you gotta give Ivana about $200,000. She's making your life easy. So we're gonna put her, you and Ivana on payroll. You're gonna pay yourself, Neil, about $250 because we rich at $250, and you're gonna pay Ivana $200,000. And we're gonna go and adjust what you're paying these people in Bangladesh. Okay? Okay, Miss Tracy. So I said, Mia, do you have life insurance? Ma'am. It's okay. I'm gonna do an IUL, Mia. I said, so Mia, in 7 years, if you could have income coming to you, what would it be a year? She was like, oh, probably 20,000. Nope, we're gonna do 70,000. We're gonna structure this so in 7 years, if you don't want to do anything else because you pay for this policy, at the age from 100 and from in 70, 29, at 35, she could start taking $40,000 up until 109 years old. She never got a fee policy again because she could afford to do that, right? So we did that, and then so she paid cash for the house, right? I said, Mia, I said, who came up with the $250? She said, oh, the man said if I had $250,000 I could get. I said, Mia, he sucked with you. I said, if you cash is king, you could have said, sir, I'll give you $175. He would have took it. So then she was in the process of buying another house in the city, in Decatur. She said, oh yeah, they said $300,000, Miss Tracy. I said, Mia, I'm gonna thump you in your head if you get that man $300,000. We're not gonna do that. My dad said it's a good deal. Mia, is your dad into real estate? No, ma'am. Mia, we can't listen to Dad. Dad don't know what he's talking about. I'm gonna give you one of my clients that she does real estate all the time. A lot of them, I said, but she's a flipper. So I want you to partner with her. Okay, I sent Mia to her, y'all, because we think we're rich at $250,000. Mia didn't listen. Mia goes back to the man. She was like, oh, Miss Tracy, I gave him earnest money. They're saying I can't get my money back. I said, Mia, tell the person to call me, okay? Tell them I'm your mom. She gave him $30,000. So the lady called me. She was like, where her money is? I said, ma'am, first of all, let me tell you what I do for a living. I'm a wealth management coach. I own 2 tax offices. I own properties. They're not expensive, but I own them. I paid for them. They deeds. I paid for them, the shotgun houses in North Carolina. I said, are you really going to sit on this phone and try to tell me this girl can't get her money back? You're going to give her her money back. I'm going to call somebody for you. You're going to lose your license. Oh, no, ma'am, I didn't tell Mia she can get. Ma'am, I'm talking to you because you told the girl she can get her money back. So Mia gets the $30,000 back. Now, mind y'all, they wanted $300,000 for the house. She was able to get it for $180,000. So then she still crazy, y'all. I'm telling you what she did, because $1 million is a lot of money. She found a contract. I said, Mia, you need to find at least 2. I get 2 to 3, estimates. Oh, I found somebody told me about this man. She had a deck built in the back of the house. Charged her $14,000.
What, that must be 4 stories.
Yeah. Because you showing up. Oh, how much is it?
Yeah.
I have cash to give you. I said, Mia. What? Thank you. I said, Mia, why did you tell that man you had the cash? Because at 28, that type of money is I can afford to do it.
Yeah.
So she stayed consistently on payroll like I tell her to do. And then I'm going to show you guys what I did with the estate planning for her. And then she just makes me laugh. Her and the one I said it's a scammer because they're that young and making over $1 million. My older clients that make that, we understand we got our money the long way and hard way. So we try to hold on to it because at $250, I'm rich. But at $1 million, I'm like, I'm frolicking. You know, like, hey, the goal is to make sure the $1 million keep working for me over and over again. And I tell people, I said, true millionaires are not on social media begging people to get subscriptions and saying they're coaches. Because people always say, like, you're not on social media a lot. I'm busy in real life. I'm busy in real life trying to maintain and scale what I have. So I don't have time to be lying to y'all and y'all saying something in threads and my homegirl gonna start talking back because I'm petty. I told y'all I ain't mature yet. I'm not there. I don't believe in when they go low, you go high. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I don't do that. I go all the way down to the core, all the way down. Then I come back up and I say, God, you know me. Right? You know they shouldn't have did that. Then the Spirit said, you know you shouldn't have been up here. You ain't mature. So let me say, and then I'm so smart with my comebacks are so intelligent that people, I be like, girl, look at you. They don't know what they don't that. Right. Then I'm gonna use a $5 word. You know, I'm gonna put that like that. Don't know what that is. You ever try to talk to me, be smart, trying to tell me about finances, and you ain't certified and qualified. I do that all the time. I'm like, what are you qualified in? YouTube, TikTok. Okay. So I'm gonna show you guys what. I said I want everybody to have estate planning, and I'm gonna give Jesse a link for you guys to do it yourself, because I tell people this, that estate planning is expensive depending on what you want to do, but there's a company that I use that you can do it yourself for like $100. But reach out to me when you're doing it, and I'll tell you what you need to be doing in there, because I know everybody. The thing for me, I always tell people about my business grow, because I'm not out here trying to make people pay me something that I know they can do for themselves. Because if you can do it for yourself, do it for yourself. Y'all, I had to really sit down and think about that thing. I said, now what concerning shop can I take this thing to after this? Because I'm not, y'all, when he come home tonight, Monday, I'm going to the consignment shop. I'm going to sell it to somebody. I said, I don't know what, y'all, I don't know what I was thinking, y'all, because in my right mind, I wouldn't have did that. Something must have happened to me to buy somebody at going to a singing prom an $800 suit. Why is that boy that sharp? Now I'm mad about it. And his shoes I ordered from Amazon. So why would I buy an $800 suit, y'all? Then when I got home last night, I'm looking at him. He said, Mama, what's wrong with you? I said, boy, you got an $800 suit. You got to give me my money. He worked part-time at Planet Fitness. And for one of my clients that does real estate, I said, when you get paid next week, you got to give me $200. He said, I didn't ask you to do it. You ain't tell me not to. Right. So you gonna give me half. So then he called his dad. And then his dad on the speaker said, you paid $800 for a suit? I said, I don't know what I was thinking. I said, I think because my client make the suits, right, that I was trying to help him. Because the suit was really $1,200. He said, well, I'm giving you a deal. I'm getting material, doing it at a discount. I'm going to show y'all this suit now. The suit is nice, but y'all, it ain't worth $800. I could have went to the warehouse thing and got that boy a suit and got it fitted to Steve Harvey. $800, y'all, and I do good with my money. I'm smart with my money, but that was the dumbest. And then he had the nerve to ask me to rent him a black Porsche. Baby, guess what he's driving to the prom? That 2019 Genesis, black Genesis, because you're not about to get me with that. My daughter's my mama. I said, you get it for mama. I said, man, $800 on suit. She said, my mama, but he don't, baby, I'm not renting a Porsche. And in my name, for 18-year-old to drive. And then I said, Trey, I'll pay for a limo to pick y'all up, because the man was only going to charge one of my clients. He's like, oh, Tracy, I'll do it for 4 hours for $200, you know. I said, okay. That boy said, I might as well do Uber Black if somebody's going to ride me around. You would ride around that Genesis, baby. You would ride around that Genesis. Yeah. Because I'm not about to sit here and try to convince you. You're going to try to spend my money, and you already know. Finesse me into paying $800 for a suit. I ain't never wore an $800 dress, and you up there at 18 with an $800. And I'm mad about it, y'all. Every time I think about it. My daughter said, my daughter is 36, right? And she often reminds me, she said, Mama, you need to write me a check every week when you write yourself one. I grew up with you when you had nothing. And you sitting here buying $800 suits. This boy grew up in the burbs. He has had a soft life. You owe me a soft life. I'm gonna need you to send me my money, Mama. Cause I don't understand how my brother can sit around here and he has no street sense, y'all. None at all. And she be laughing and she was like, now he should have been growing up in the shotgun house. Cause he got no sense. But you can't tell me he got no sense now. He think he's smarter than me.
Oh, yeah, that's all I'm doing.
I be like, Trey, that don't make sense. Well, actually, it does. Now, he has a 3.8 GPA. He got a full ride to college. Now, you would think the college gave him a full ride. That's the one you want to go to. But no. He want to go where they gave him an academic scholarship, and his mama got to pay $5,000 a year. I said, Trey, that makes no sense. Well, I'm the person that made the good grade, so it makes sense to me. I said, so you know what we're going to do? I said, you're going to pay, because he has an IDWell. I got him when he was like 10. I said, we're going to take the money out your IDWell that we're supposed to be using for you to get your first property when you get out of college. I thought he was going to say, okay, I'll go to SCAD. Well, that's fine by me. No sense. But it's my fault, y'all. You know, you try to do better for the kids that you feel like you ain't do the best for. But my daughter, she has the
It's a
most.
fine line, don't spoil them.
My daughter has more sense. She made. I said, girl, that's my baby. I said she grew up in the mud with her mom for real. Now that boy, he walk around the corner there, y'all, without once with an $80 student on. That his dumb mama with her ADD didn't think it could. Cause I promise y'all, I would have been at that daggone soup factory thing. Yeah, yes, for real. I would have been in there. And I would have found him something and had it tailor-made to his body. And then you walk around with $800 suit on, your shoes only cost $42 from Amazon. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. But yeah, sometimes I'm like, oh, we don't know. Yeah, the holding company. Y'all know what a holding company is? I love holding companies. I wish I could hold my life in it sometimes. Like, Lord, can I put my life in a holding company and just hold it here for a minute? Let me show y'all what I do. Counterpartners be doing. I do this as well now.
Oh, I heard about this.
Okay, so we're gonna do this for the business people, and I'm gonna show y'all how to do it in regular life, because I did it both ways. Okay, so 250 we rich, remember? Okay. So this is my LLC, this tax is a corporation, all right? So my corporation has to pay me through my business, which is the LLC, right? So my corporate, so let's just say I'm T. Scott Financial. T. Scott Financial is a corporation, right? So my other business is T. Scott Residential, right? Remember I told you this is the second LLC, it's over here. So I really pay little to no taxes to the government, all right? So I keep probably about 90% of my money to myself, because what I do, so right here, I created a holding company, right? The holding company is T. Scott, right? So what I do, so my family estate, right, is also created as an LLC. So over here, we'll just say, I have my daughter, my son, my granddaughter, my grandson, right? So into the trust, I pay that trust about $237,000 a year. That's just a number that I pay for them, right? It's because I make them employees of my business. So that business pay about $237,000. Now, do I give them that? I don't give it to them. It's just sit over here in the trust, right? So my life insurance policy, right, I put that inside of my holding company because our tax shelter inside of it as well. So my kids are the beneficiaries of this life insurance policy, right? That, but the trust owns it. So the trust is in the middle because it owns all of these things. So down here, my assets, they're inside of a land trust. So I put the assets inside of a land trust because the more money you make, the more legs you want to have, right? So for real estate, say if you have if you had 5 properties, all 5 of those properties need to have an LLC. They need to have a leg.
Separate one, right?
No, they're still gonna be in the holding
No,
company.
no, I'm saying each one's have
You said
but
all
each one got their own separate LLC.
Yes.
Okay.
But you wanna,
Each property?
Yeah.
so we'll say,
Okay.
they need to be inside the holding company, right? Because if they're in here, you're not paying taxes. So every property, so if you flipped it and you made money, you did it here, but you put it inside the holding company. They can't see the taxes on it. They can't see what you did because the trust is holding everything. The holding company is holding the trust. But because it's a trust, you and now this right here is gonna be irrevocable.
Okay.
So you make this type of setup irrevocable. Yes.
So like if you have, let's say you're doing jewelry things, like your children, you have making jewelry, you should make each of those their own LLC instead of one.
If you have what now?
Let's say you're doing 3 different things.
Okay.
Like tutoring is one of the things.
Mm-hmm.
And then you might be designing jewelry, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
And you might,
Have a third business.
yeah, you need to make each of them a separate
No.
LLC.
What I would do for that, did y'all like this in?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I can turn it?
Yes.
So I'm gonna answer your question on this side. I'm gonna show you guys how to do the revocable trust that you wanna do and see if you can figure out your life. Also, whenever you do your trust, don't do it in the state of Georgia, Nevada and South Dakota. I prefer South Dakota because South Dakota has the Dewey Decimal System. I don't know if you guys remember that, and you're in high school, you probably remember. We had to go in and go through the catalog. South Dakota is set up that way.
What about Wyoming? What do you think about that?
It depends on what you're trying to put there.
Okay.
So I tell people, don't let people tell you, oh, go to Wyoming, Nevada, because you might need subsidiaries. So we're going to see, like, if you have those 5 properties, we say 5, some of those properties might need to be subsidiaries.
Okay.
Subsidiaries are another holding company that's under your holding company.
Gotcha.
So that company may need to be in Nevada, Seattle. Again, I like South Dakota, and I like South Dakota because years ago, I was on a plane, I was at the airport reading some wealth management stuff, white man being nosy sitting beside me, but it was a blessing. We ended up sitting beside each other, so I said it was a blessing. But then he said, so, tell me what you do with wealth management. So I was just talking to him. He said, so where do you hide most of your stuff? I said, out in Nevada. I said, it depends on what the client needs. So he said, well, you're smart. I said, it depends on what the client needs. He said, what do you know about South Dakota? I said, nothing, but I don't want to ever go there. He was like, you do want to go there. He said, they have the Dewey Decimal System. Are you familiar with it? I said, yeah. I said, why would they have a Dewey Decimal System? He said, why would wealthy people not want a Dewey Decimal System? Because to find me, you have to really go here and go through to find me. I said, you were meant to sit beside me. That was God, y'all. Because I'm talking about no South Dakota having to do a decimal system. I'm like, I know what I know, right?
Right.
But I'm like, so I went back, I researched my mentor in wealth management. So I said, Jonathan, who lives out in California, who is uber wealthy. I said, Jonathan, I said, I met this white man like you on the plane. I said, he told me that people should be tax sheltering out in South Dakota. I said, they absolutely should be. I said, well, wait a minute.
Why you
What? And guess what he told me, y'all? Because you don't have a clientele that's over $5 million. I tell you what you need to know based on where you at, Tracy. It's like, okay. Let me get these type of people. I said, so what you can do, you can show me. I said, absolutely. He said, so where's your stuff at? I said, you know it's out in Nevada. He said, you put everything, all your properties out there? I said, well, I did it with the subsidiaries, and then I put some of them in a holding company. He said, they all want me to be out there, Tracy. I said, nope. So I had to pay this expensive fee, because it's an irrevocable trust, to go back to redo it, to put some of the stuff out of South Dakota. But me, because I knew, when I looked at it, I said, well, you know what? Let's put it all out here. I was like, he's like, well, you're going to end up paying more. I don't care. Let's put it out here. They'll never find me. Now, you can find T. Scott Financials, but you really can't find me.
Yep.
So it's okay. I said, he was like, well, I can see you. I'm like, okay. But you don't see what I got to be. And I ain't going to tell you. I have nothing. I tell people, the social media is the IRS stomping ground. So y'all out there talk how they don't know how they supposed to know your business. Yeah, because you don't told them everything. Somebody asked you. Oh, I saw one guy, what they asked him before. It's like, are you a millionaire? This dumb black man was there and said yes. I said, why did you say that? You supposed to say, I ain't got no money.
Not me.
No, I have nothing. So for your question, so if you have 3 companies, right? This is what is the best thing for me. I'll come up with a name for all of those companies, right? So you come up with a master name. You decide which one is going to give you the most money, okay? So company 1, you just say it was, you said it was clothing or something?
Tutoring.
Tutoring, okay. So they're tutoring company. Well, you could be like me and making money. So this company, I would call it learning and, let's say learning and listening, all right? All right? This is my company, that's the LLC. Now remind you, I told you.
Yeah, the one with the master name.
Right.
Yes.
So until I make, so it's gonna stay on LLC until I make the $35K, and it's gonna be taxed. That's an S4. So once I do that, right, and I have the other businesses, these businesses are gonna be DBAs.
Okay.
They're gonna have their name, but they're gonna do business as this.
Okay.
And it's gonna be the same thing over and over. Now you're gonna have to pay a fee in Gwinnett County. I think it's maybe $35, I don't remember. Because I use a company to create my DBAs. So you could go to the county and just add the DBAs as many times as you want to. So it's only to keep creating LLCs. Now, when you start making all the money, a lot of money, then you create the additional LLC for myself for tax purposes. So this still is gonna be on your 1040 side of your taxes, which is the Schedule C.
Okay.
All of that will still be over there until you become this, and then you will have this separate.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, estate planning,
You said, because I can't see your.
I'm sorry.
So, you said the first one is the LLC, and then you have 2 under that?
DBAs.
Okay.
Yeah, so, because you don't want to keep creating LLCs until,
Right.
so if that one is making the money for you and then you open up these other businesses, they're not going to be making as much money as those.
Yeah.
But you can always, so if one just starts to make more money than that, you can switch it.
Yeah.
You just go in on the Secretary of State amendment and amend it and change it around.
So you wanna keep the one that make the most.
Yeah, you can always change, you can always amend it on the Secretary of State website. Another question about that one? Okay, so the revocable trust that I like when we really don't know what we're doing. So what we're gonna do here, so say you got a life insurance policy, right?
One second, miss. So then you, just one quick question into that. So then do you just have one account
One.
just
That's
for the,
one.
for the master?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's one, yeah. So, house, bank account. So you notice that also the irrevocable trust, you want your bank accounts in there too. You can change your bank accounts, but don't put them in a holding company. put them in a trust, but not in a holding company, because you want to be able to change around. So the revocable trust, guys, when you are not in business and we regular people, we regular folks, you want to do irrevocable. You want to put your life insurance policies in there, your house, and your bank accounts in there. Now, you can, and you, for your life insurance policy, you know you have the beneficiaries up there, right? So you're going to allot the beneficiaries inside of the revocable trust. So the thing with the revocable trust is this, is that the IRS can still tax you on your income because it's irrevocable. But until I would get my life together, I would keep it as revocable. But I would still have the trust because my kids that I'm making beneficiaries of my stuff, that can't be changed because it's a trust. I don't like wills, people, probate court. The 401k, then we're gonna go for real. Let me tell y'all this.
So
If you have a 401k at work, get rid of it. Because here's the thing. I had, Nabisco closed down, but they reopened and then they went overseas. So I had probably over 100 of those people, right? And I used to tell them this all the time, most of them, guys, you don't need a 401k. A 401k is for corporate. With the 401k, this is what happens. So say we all work for the same company and we pay into the 401k. Every quarter, the government allows the company to pay their bills with our money. We get nothing, but and when they say the 3% match is really not a 3% match, it's not really a 5% match, when you pull your documents and look at your portfolio, they're only giving you what would equate to the 3%. So if you're paying 3%, right, they're gonna give you 1%. If they say it's 5% at the match, you're paying 3%, they're doing 2%. There are products out here that are better than that. So why would I work for a company for 30 years and my 401k has $100,000 or $250,000? 2008, true story, client, not a client, somebody that's a broker. He lost over $800,000 in 401k because the market. Because you know the money is inside of the market. If the market goes up, you're gonna get it. If the market goes down, you're gonna lose. So I tell people, if you want to do something, again, I gotta go with this age thing. It has to make sense. I don't like Roths and IRAs for people that's over 45. What am I gonna do with $5,000 here for 10 years? So again, I go back to the real estate. So if you're gonna do the Roth, you can do that, but your goal needs to be to find at least one property. I'm a fan of Section 8. People don't like Section 8. I said, you don't like Section 8 because you don't go and check on your stuff. So what I would do with my niece in North Carolina, quarterly, she walks through, you know, and I get to see. So if I gotta kick you out, I just take the loss, you gotta get out of here. But mostly I only would rent to older people, because they get Social Security or whatever and they're gonna pay their rent. So 401k, if you have it, check and see how much money you have and you can put it somewhere else. Because there are some annuities, I love annuities. I tell my older clients this too. Nationwide's an annuity right now is giving guaranteed 14%. Guaranteed. Now, every year, the market changes. So I tell people, if I got 14% this year, it doesn't mean we get 14% next year. So whoever you're doing business with, they need to be smart enough to say, hey, this product is doing this, we can move it over here, 1035 exchange, it's no cost to you, you lose nothing. Because IULs do the same thing. Like I have clients now that I gotta switch their IULs because I don't know what sorry trees from there.
Quick question. 403B.
Retirement at thrift?
Yeah. It's not an option where we start with that county. That's
You
what
gotta
they put
have
you
it
in.
thrift, yeah.
So they put, okay, all right. So
Yeah, you
can
gotta
you
have
change that and move that something up?
They not gonna let you.
So even if you leave
I have
them,
some
you just
schools
got to
too.
sit there until it comes up. They don't.
So this is what I tell my people that have the thrift. I have some principles, right? Stop paying into it. Put it in the IUL. They can't tell you not to pay into it.
Oh, they can.
Yeah, you can stop paying into it. And then just take the money and put it somewhere else. They won't give it to you
Yeah, but they-
because it's under the 501(c)(4) 4B law, but you don't have to put money in it. You can put your money somewhere else.
Oh, okay, thank you.
And then I would take money out of it too. You know what I would do? I'm gonna tell y'all the secret. There are exclusions to taking your money out of 401k. School, medical, house. If you know somebody that's in real estate, I ain't tell you this, but I told you this because I told y'all I'm still maturing. Friend, say I'm buying something from you so I can get this document and send it to them people at the 401k. So when tax time comes, if I took $30,000 out, guess what? The exclusion is I don't have to pay taxes. You gotta learn to pay these folks game. Yes, ma'am.
When you were talking about the 401k and, like
Yeah.
as far as company matching, so you're saying they're not really matching, that's
So
crazy.
what do you do with your 401k with your company then? If it's-
So this is what I tell people. I like people to take the hit. So you have a business, right?
Mhm.
So I would take my money, and if you're gonna use it for real estate or you're gonna do the IUL or something, I would take it and tell them that I don't wanna pay taxes on the state, that don't tax me on the state side, I'll pay the tax on the state on the back end. The federal, they're gonna take it anyways, but your business that you have, you can wash away those taxes and not pay it. Because it becomes taxable income. Because people be like, oh, I paid the taxes. Baby, you ain't 59 and a half. This taxable income. Do you have business? No, where you stuck. Or you could do, another thing with the IRS, I'm gonna tell you guys this. If you owe the IRS money, they big on doing offer compromise or the fresh start. Some people say, Tracy, I don't qualify. You did that little silly test on that website.
Mhm.
Yeah, you do qualify. They just want money. Just want money. If you tell these people you can pay them, if I owe you 50,000, I say, hey, I only have 18. They can come back and say, you gotta give me 20. Okay, can I give it to you in 2 years? So I'm gonna die with that debt. I'm gonna keep owing it to you because I'm gonna stay on the payment arrangement and give you a little bit amount. Unless I have a business that I'm willing to give it to you, then yeah. Because if you buy property, then that debt becomes part of what you can afford in the house. So yeah. So we don't do 401ks, y'all. We move it somewhere else. And if we pass 45, we're not doing Roth and IRAs unless you have something else that you could do that's no yield income. Remember landhub.gov, all the counties, cheap properties, credit score with American Express just has to be a 675 or a 680. What is it? 675?
675.
675. If you're gonna leverage your bank, I know people say they hate they hate Wells Fargo. Leverage PNC Regions and let Wells Fargo be your big bank. Wells Fargo, believe it or not, they fool with us. This is when I tell people, I said the person that's racist to you is the person that was sitting in front of you that's mad. Corporate is not sitting around telling them folks to go do stuff to black people. It's the racist person sitting there in front of them. Right, right. They just have to work it.
Yep.
Yeah. Don't nobody want to keep getting dinged, penalized. So it's them, but because I don't like Chase and I don't care for Bank of America, but they're the same people. It's just relationship based. Like a good relationship.
I got a horror story though. We had a car loan with Wells Fargo. We paid it off, came out one day and repossessed the car.
Wait, what?
What they say?
Then they sent us a check for $2,000.
What?
Yeah.
Did you get the car back?
The car was, I didn't really care because the car wasn't working anyway, but it was still sitting up there. And it never dawned on me. And then I read some things, because they had to pay $2 billion or something like that.
For vehicle,
Yeah, so I just thought
finance.
about it. I was like, because they sent us a letter, some kind of offer letter or whatever. And, because we had this vehicle budget at the time, so it was like 3,000. I mean, because the car wasn't working anyway. But, yeah,
Did they put it on your credit?
I don't think so. I need to check.
Can't look at it.
Yeah.
This is on my wife. It was on my wife.
Yeah, you need to check and see and get it off. That's crazy.
How you paying off?
Well, how y'all come to get my car?
Yeah, I mean, we had paid it off.
They, you know what? You know what Wells Fargo does? Because my business vehicles are with them. If you don't pay, this is the craziest thing with them. That's why I said we really don't fool with them when it comes to vehicles. Now that you said that. So Wells Fargo would do this. Your car payment could be due on the 20th. You know it's not late to the 20th of next month. But if you don't pay them on the 20th, they charge you late fees.
Right.
Yeah, they did it to me before. I said, y'all can keep it up there because I'm not going to pay it. And guess what? When I paid the vehicle off, they said, you have late fees, what you going to do about it? Because I'm going to write to the FCC. They can't make it pay it. Because my car payment is paid.
Right.
That's y'all crap. Y'all can win. I'm not giving it to you.
So here's the question. Is it easy to get a business loan, get a car, a loan for your business car? Like you said, you have cars for business.
Mm-hmm.
Is it easy to do that, get a car for your business?
Well, the first time I did it, that's why I said people, you're going to have to be a personal guarantor for everything. The first lease I did, they did run my social, right? That was, and we're tell you what the credit score was, that was, I've been in business 18 years, y'all, so the first time I did it, if I can remember, the lowest my credit score was like a 625, and they did it through the business, but their interest rate was 10%, so it was a 625 or a 626 credit score, they used the FICO 3 for cars, so I leased the vehicle was $700 a month, so I kept it for 6 months. I went back, my credit score got to 700, and I refinanced and got a 2% on the vehicle. So I tell people with bad credit, if you have bad credit, and I tell people with vehicles, it doesn't matter. If somebody give you a 10%, 12%, 90 days, your credit score get up, go back and refinance it. They're gonna give you a lower rate. Because people be stuck. When I meet people, I was like, why are you paying 14, 20% on this vehicle? On my score, girl, they don't use a FICO 8 or 9, they use a 2 or 3. Just get your stuff right. Let's look at what you gotta do to get your stuff together. So on Monday, we go to work, we gon' W-4 them folks. We gonna change it. We're gonna watch our check stubs to see if we paid the right amount in taxes, and then once we pay the right amount, we're gonna freeze it. Because we ain't paying them no more.
Question on the W-4. I've always, and again, knowledge is, I've been claiming zero, no exemptions.
No, we're not doing that.
Because I like the refund, because that's like, that's, my birthday's in March, so that's like my extra, you know, my refund show up right
Sis, we
around.
know about letting them folks take our money.
That's, you know.
But why you want a refund when you can get all your money throughout the year?
Well, and that's why I look at it that way, like a savings account is how I've always thought of it, but not really understanding that I was losing money.
Yeah, you are.
'Cause I was
So,
looking at
but
like,
if
well,
you still want the refund, do this. Do the 0 for the 5 months, and then do the 2 or 3 for the.
Okay.
So do
So
this
that's-
0 for a couple months and then,
Like, you could do the 0 for 5 months, and then you can do exempt for the remainder of the month. It's kind of like you'll break even. You won't get that bigger refund, but you'll get something if that's what you want to do.
Okay, because that's why, you know, I look at it as a
But you
little
can do a
savings.
high yielding savings account if you, so you could do this, right? I would still get my money. This is another way to do it. So whatever your salary is supposed to be for the year, right? And whatever that refund is, just take money out your check and put it into a high yield savings account. There are a lot of high yield savings account right now at 67%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
American Express, but you gotta have a card with American Express.
Okay.
Alley Bank, I think they have one right now. But just Google high yield and savings account. Yeah, you can do that.
Do like PNC?
They don't have a high yield. Don't ever put any of your money in no bank savings account. Don't do that. Them folks play with our money at 1 p.m. every night to 1 to 3. They invest our money and make money off of it, then it'll magically appear back in your account.
Overnight.
So you know what I do? Y'all, since they only will give insurance up to $250,000, I would never put more than that in an account. Never. My money, I am that person that I believe in my granddaddy rule. It's my money, it can be with me. I'm not gonna do it, see, because I know I get deposits in my account from the business that I do. So people give me cash. Cash is key. I always say to my clients, I would take the cash. Because I have products that rank between $10,000 and $25,000. So a lot of my clients, which I'm changing this year because people get on my nerves, I said, Lord, thank you for this lesson because I'm thinking I had a client that paid for a product, like it's like where we do his business tax, personal tax, trade, we do trademarks, I do his investments for him. Like that's a $25,000 package, right? You can talk to me throughout the year, but you have to make, when I tell y'all this man has got on my nerves, but what the Lord said, that's what you get for telling somebody to pay you at one time when you should have been doing subscriptions. So when you get on my nerves, I can cut it off and tell you you're a great person. We only do business. So when people been calling me this year, like, hey, Tracy, I need to renew this. Baby, I don't do those no more. You can do a subscription. You can divide the $25,000 by 12 and pay that monthly. So when you don't want to deal with me, hence I don't want to deal with you, you can go about your business. Yeah, because I was like, okay, yeah, bring the cash. And people like that make money, they don't mind bringing the cash to you or whatever. And like I said, I would keep my cash because I'm like, when If the world go to hell in a handbasket, I'm gonna have me some cash. I don't care what y'all say, I got my cash. You come over here, I got my guns, my bullets, and my cash. What we doing? What we doing? And my military food. What we doing? Because I'm gonna
So you said find a high yield, what is it?
Savings account. Jesse, you recording me? You know I'm supposed to
You
record
know you
me acting like
recording.
this.
Oh, you recording.
Mm-hmm.
Yup, so is.
Every day, look, I'm that person.
It's gonna
I'm
be
that
on
person
the-
that's
on
so
the
funny.
church
My daughter's
YouTube.
like, do you ride around looking to shoot somebody? People don't bother with me. Because I was like, they must know there's a lot of goods in this truck. Because I'm the person, you're not going to take my vehicle. My dad's like, Tracy, no, Daddy, they got to go with me. I'm not going to give you my vehicle. You, especially you look like me trying to rob me.
Right.
You got to go.
Right.
Somebody going to walk slow behind you. And it ain't because it's a wedding. You got to steal. No.
Stop that.
Dang.
Yeah, so, let me show y'all this $800 suit that I paid for. Now I want y'all to see.
Who's the teller?
I'm sorry.
Who's the teller?
Gossip Couture. Y'all got, look them up, y'all. I'm telling you.
$800, I don't need no that.
Please.
You
But look,
I just look at the picture.
look, but look, I'm telling you, this look.
You don't want the tip, but
But something special, like a special event.
how many times you gonna wear it?
Say Tracy sent you. They might give you a
You gonna wear
discount.
that every Sunday
Yeah.
at church.
I'm used to like that.
Duluth High. Look, y'all, I'm telling y'all could be like, I'm gonna wear this suit. It's a special occasion.
What's the name of the company again?
Gossip Couture.
That means something.
Look at, you might be able to find Gilly's Closet on, y'all, I'm telling y'all, they have some nice stuff.
I thought you said Gordon Control.
Gossip Couture.
Oh.
They have
Cosby
nice
Show.
stuff.
I can make one cheap.
Let me show y'all this suit. This boy sharp now. You can't tell my baby he ain't gonna be sharp. Let me show you. Look at that suit. That boy rubbing that thing.
He wearing that all next week at school.
All the time. Just don't get
At
the
least
money.
twice a week you wearing that at school.
It's the velvet up here. Yeah, the velvet. Yeah, that boy said he's sharp, y'all, but I ain't even telling y'all.
Oh, you over there with the
Y'all should
majors.
have saw me yesterday. So the dad's asking
She over there with the
me,
majors. That one got us $1 million.
"Food."
Oh, that's nice.